Alright, there's the babies. Back up in there, we did lose one. It got out, couldn't find its way back in. So we lost it. It got too cold. We're gonna have to get some straw in here for them. This thing's got a little wet yesterday. But we still got 7. Of course, that's not Mom's fault. She's being really protective. Alright, so, yep. Just looked at the babies. Probably got out sometime in the night. Couldn't find its way back. And then it just got too cold. It's a bad deal. I hate seeing that. But we got quite a bit of rain yesterday. Haven't checked it yet. I'll check it here in a little bit. Still got these guys here. These 2 here. We got a processing appointment I've mentioned before. But anyway, like I said about that little one, it's a sad deal. It happens. Yeah. Gonna have to go get some more straw put in there. She's got them a mound built up in the corner where they can get up off the wet ground, but that's absorbed some moisture too. So it's pretty wet, and they've been out playing. So then they drag the mud back up on top of it. But anyway, she's been really protective of those babies. I was trying to fix the spot where she got out, and she got a little grumpy with me. We'll have to watch that. It's not bad, but we're just gonna have to watch it. She's just been protective of the babies. So at this point, I can't fault her for that. Excuse me. Still fighting this sinus mess. May end up having to get antibiotics, but anyway. Well, alright. I forgot to get keys to the garage, so I need to go do that so I can feed Butch and Skittles real quick. Okay, well, Skittles is eating. She's in the tiny barn. I didn't get anything done on it today. Butch is out here messing with Opal. He's feeling kind of frisky. Yeah, they knocked my box of nails over. I gotta pick that up. Crap. Okay, well, he knows the feed bucket. I put feed over there. Skittles is eating all the feed, Butch. You gotta get over there with Skittles. He's getting big. There they are. Looks like they spent some time in here yesterday and last night. If the manure is any indication. Now they're gonna fight over it. And she ain't gonna be run off. So, I think this is gonna work out pretty good for them. Let me get my nails picked. Okay, another handy tool. Telescopic magnet. See if I can get it to work here. It's pretty handy if you need to pick up a lot of small stuff, like you drop screws and bolts working on a car or something. Those are handy, I'm telling you. So I just realized that I've got a couple of these. And this one just happens to be here on the tractor today. It was right about there. It's picking up these nails over here. And I'm like, wait a minute. I don't have to stand on my head or get down on my hands and knees to do this. I can just pick them up. But anyway, so I was hoping that would be done. But then again, I'm in control of that. So it's just today, it's just a dreary day. You can see behind me. It's not cold. It's just dreary. And it is cool. And then all the moisture makes it feel even more cool. And to be honest, I just kind of wimped out today. But, you know. Alright, we got almost 1.5 inches of rain in the last 24 hours or so. Wow. This is quite a bit of rain. And get that dumped out so we can start all over again. Alright. There, got that back on. Not going to be able to get back on the tiny barn until probably Tuesday. Today is Sunday when I'm recording this. But I have, well, to be honest, I've not talked about this, and I'm not going to go into much detail, just to say I have to hold on. Okay, as I was saying, I'm not going to go into a bunch of detail, but I have to take my mother to get a procedure done tomorrow, so I will probably be there all day, and that's all I'm saying. Those of you who know me personally, I would ask that you wait to ask me questions until probably Tuesday sometime. I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue, but you know, she is getting up there in age, you know, so you just never know. Anyway, so say a prayer for her, and once we're all done with it, I'll let y'all know what's going on. And that's all of that for now. On to a little brighter note. Oh, I got feed chickens. Anyway, probably, well, no, let's do this. I'm going to do this. I went and collected some money yesterday on a pig I sold. This one of those that's going to the processor, and had an interesting conversation. This guy that I got the money from, he's already bought 2 pigs from us. One of the ones going this week, and one that he got back in the summer. But we talked for a couple minutes, you know, and first of all, you know, he was, and I'm bragging a little bit, but he did say that he was, one, glad that I was still doing it and was going to be doing this in the foreseeable future. You know, and then he said, you know, I'm not really a pork chop guy or any of the other stuff. He said, I prefer the bacon and the sausage and the ham. He said, but he said, I gave a package of those pork chops away to some friends, and they told me they were the best they ever had. So I fixed some for my mom. This is him saying this. And she said that they were the best she'd ever had too. And then he said, well, then I fixed me some, and they were the best I'd ever had. So, and it's not that, don't get me wrong, I am bragging a little bit, okay? Because, you know, when something you've bred and raised up gets a good report like that, you know, it makes you feel good. But I'm not really doing anything different than many other people out there. I'm working on improving my meat, my pork, you know. But right now, I mean, and even once I get it improved, which I don't exactly know what that means right now. I got pretty fast growing pigs, so that's not too big of a concern. Just, I think I'm looking for a better meat quality, and that's why Buddy Love's out there. Because he's a Berkshire. And supposedly that's, of course, it depends on who you talk to. You know, he said that was pretty good meat. Or that people say that, a lot of that. But they grow a little slower. But I think with the other cross that I'm crossing on him, I think that takes it out. Which, as I was talking to this gentleman yesterday, he grew up similar to I did. I found out. I knew his family had a few cows. And we weren't exactly buddies in high school, but we knew each other from high school. You know, we went to a small school. I don't know, I don't even want to guess what the size of our graduating class was, but it wasn't very big. So everybody pretty much knew everybody to some extent. But as we were talking, you know, he was telling us, well, you know, he said, I like the Yorkshire meat. And he said, I've tried the Duroc, and that's good. He said, I think that's probably my best pork. Or, you know, what he considers that he liked the best. And then I told him, you know, how mine are bred. All my breeding sows now, just for a reminder, if you've heard this, skip ahead a few seconds. But all of my breeding sows, with the exception of the number one farmhand sow, well done, the one who has babies right now, are all Yorkshire landrace Duroc, with I think a little more emphasis on the Duroc. I don't know. And then Buddy Love, not Buddy Love, but Deuce Pigelow, the big red and white boar, the one we've had the longest. He is a Duroc Hereford. So that all kind of follows into what he liked. So that may have something to do with him liking my pork chops, which was good to know. People don't tend to give feedback too often. But anyway, I can hear the farmhand out here. I'm going to mosey that way as I talk to y'all. Like I said, well done's a little crabby. Well, I think he's not very loud, so it's probably nothing too bad. He's grumbling. He's all right. He has a tendency to trust them guys a little too much. But I think Well Done's got his attention, so he watches her. Anyway, I don't tend to get much feedback, but with the return customers, that's feedback of itself. So, oh well, there's Rhonda home. But anyway, it's good to get feedback. Even bad feedback is good if it's honest. Silly Opal wants to get in front of everything and hurt them. Alright, I'll stop a minute. Alrighty, everybody. I know you guys didn't notice a break, but I took a little break. Rhonda had come home, visited with her, finished up chores. So, anyway. Oh, excuse me. Like I was saying, I had a good visit with the my customer yesterday, and it was a pretty interesting conversation. Short one, only I've 25 to 10 minutes. But we talked about, or he was telling me what kind of beef he liked, because he had another friend going to pick up some beef that they had purchased. I guess him and some buddies got like, I don't know, a buyer's club, and they're working together. Call it a mutual aid group. That's what I talk about when I talk about community. Building community. Get you some friends, go in together, buy you a pig, from somebody like me, preferably me if you're close enough. But anyway, and then split the meat up. It seemed like, anyway. But he's talking about, like I said, he had a similar childhood to mine, it sounded like. I didn't realize how similar it was until yesterday, but he's talking about they raised cattle, enough for themselves, I think, which I knew that. I think I said that earlier. But anyway, and he was telling me that now he's buying his beef from someone who is raising dairy cattle, bulls or steers. I don't know if they're steers. The person that's raising them is this. Let me do this. Let's put it this way. This is what I think the guy is doing. Not the one that's buying pigs from me, but the guy he's buying from. You can buy them dairy breed bulls cheap because they're no use to them. I mean, one bull can service a bunch of cows. And I'm thinking most of them don't keep a bull anyway. They do it all AI. So, But, so he's going and he's buying. He's probably got a dairy farmer somewhere that he's buying these from. And then he's raising them up. And I say, good for him. I mean, it's a pretty harsh world there. A lot of these dairy farmers, they just let them bull calves die if they can't sell them. Not all of them do, but there's quite a few that do. So, if someone can get them cheap and feed them out and then make money on it, more power to them. But he was saying that my customer was saying that he preferred that beef to any beef he'd had. And he said his family raised Herefords for a while and it was all right. And he'd had Angus and he didn't like it as well as the Hereford. And then they got into Charolais, and he said he didn't like that at all. So, but he likes this dairy breed, and he didn't say which it was. Who knows? Don't matter to me. But I found that interesting, and I've heard that from other people that those dairy breeds make a pretty good beef cow too. Tasty. They taste good. Better flavor of beef. That's what I'm trying to say. So I found that interesting. And then, he expressed concerns about the railroad strike, and that he thought they were probably going to strike. It's just a feeling he had. He's a truck driver, so I don't know if that weighs in on it or not. But so if the railroad goes on strike and they shut trains down, if they even shut 50% of the trains down, we're in trouble. There's already a shortage of truck drivers, and they're making it hard to get into the truck driving industry. I mean, I know here in the state of Missouri, you gotta go to a truck driving school now before you can get your commercial driver's license, which isn't helping. You gotta spend money before you can start making money, and that's just not right. And so that makes it to where a lot of people, they're just not interested. There's other ways to make a living. So that creates a shortage. Not to mention it's a tough way to make a living. I did it for a little over a year and was not a huge fan of it. Didn't like it nearly as much as I thought I would. The money was good. At the time, I was running a team and we got paid 11 cents a mile, which meant that I got paid 11 cents for every mile that truck moved, whether I was asleep or awake, because I ran a team. Well, I figured it up, and you start your job as soon as you start loading your stuff in it to go out. And I would stay out for 3 weeks at a time, 2.5 to 3 weeks, and it come out that I was making $5 an hour. I mean, with all the time I put in, because I was technically on the job from the time I threw my stuff in the truck to head down the road until I pulled it out when I got home for the 2 or 3 days I was be home, or 4 if I could stretch it. You're out on that road and holidays. It doesn't matter. That freight's got to move. So it's and you never see the good side of any city. And it's not like BJ and the Bear, But anyway, look that up. Some of you old people like me might remember that one. That was a TV show back in the 70s. That and Moving On, a couple of my favorite shows, made me want to be a truck driver. A year of driving the truck over the road, I was tired of being an over the road truck driver. But anyway, let's just hope that we don't see this railroad strike. And I sure hope that these people that are holding it up understand that if they go on strike, what the implications are. And I'm, one day is going to cause major problems. Everything moves on rails. And like he was saying, people were telling him, well, they just use trucks to move it. No, that's trucks are moving it anyway. They move it to the train station and from the train station, and that's a lot of slack to take up. Considering train, can, let's say 20 or 30 cars, and they can haul way more weight than a tractor trailer can. So, not to get too off in the weeds about all of that. Let's just hope that don't happen. But anyway, like I said, I ask that you pray for my mom. And if you know me personally, you know how to contact me. Please don't contact me for a couple of days. And I'll probably put it on Facebook and mention it here on YouTube. So just be patient. Don't be calling my mom if you know how to get a hold of her. She doesn't need the extra stress. So, oh, the sun's coming out. Can you see some of that color? Excuse me. So anyway, I guess we'll wrap that up with a little bit of this sunset. And, you know, like I said, when I say let's look out for each other, it's like my customer does with his friends. They get together and they go buy a whole animal to have processed. Doesn't cost any of them a lot. They all get a better deal on their meat. Right now, you know, this is November 27th, 2022. And this could change any minute. But right now, if you buy a 250-pound pig from me, at the price I charge for it, plus the processing, the meat costs you an average of $4 a pound. And it's actually a little less than that, I think. But, you know, and it's better. It's better for you. My pigs are out in the sunshine. When the sun shines, they're out in it. They get vitamin D from the sun. That's important. Go look that up. Go look up how you get the best source of vitamin D. Anyway, that's going to get me off on another tangent I don't want to go down. So, like I say, let's look out for each other. Let's help each other when we can. And let's pray. Catch you later.